Hello, I'm Vincent Price. Today we're going to make desserts, delicious, mouth-watering desserts. And so I'm going to dedicate this program to the men because I've always found out that it was the men who are really interested in desserts. And I'm also going to let you into a secret, that is, you men, that the Turks and the Georgians have kept for thousands of years. I'll be telling you how they managed to live for over 100 years and still beget offspring. But first, as they say, our opening recipe. Now, this dish is one of my favorites. It's called an American icebox cake. Of course, we in America don't have ice boxes anymore. We have fridges just like everybody else. So maybe we could call it a British fridge cake, or we could go back to its origin and tell it in its Italian name, whatever that is. Anyway, in this bowl, I have the whites of 4 eggs, and I'm going to add a pinch of salt, and then I'm going to add 7 ounces of caster sugar, and this I'm going to beat into the eggs very gradually. Now, when it's finished, because I'm not finishing it, and all of you know how long it takes to whip eggs, it should look like this, and it is called a meringue. And when this meringue is cooked, it's going to form the layers of our cake. Now here I have a baking tray with some grease-proof paper on it, and I'm going to take a plate, let's say an 8-inch plate, about 8 inches in diameter, put it on the grease-proof paper, and I am going to draw a circle around it. This will help me when I come to make the layers of my cake. Now, just to make sure that the meringue doesn't stick after I've taken it out of the oven, I'm going to butter the grease-proof paper very, very lightly. Then I'm going to take the meringue and I'm going to put a great glob of it right in the middle, just like that. Now, one of the secrets of making this kind of a cake, because it's in a circle, you must start from the inside. That way you'll be able to form a much more perfect circle out of the meringue. It's really quite easy to do, and it's kind of fun. I'm not much good at drawing even a straight line, but I am pretty good at getting a perfect circle of meringue. Now don't worry, because there's plenty more for the 3 layers of our cake which we'll need, and it should be, let's say about 1/4 of an inch thick when it's done. All 3 of these meringues that we make in this way should all go into the oven to cook, and they should be baked in a very slow oven, about 250 degrees or 1/2 gas, for about 1½ hours, until the meringue is pale gold but still pliable. Now, this is what the meringue should look like when it is finished. When you take them out of the oven, you place them on a cake rack to dry, but be very careful when you peel the paper off the back of the meringue, because our meringues are still very fragile. Now, put them on the cake rack, as I said, to dry, and here I have put one onto a plate. Now comes the making of the filling. First, we put 1/2 pint of real double cream in a bowl, and we whip it until it's very stiff. Now, I've already done half of that job, and I'm just now going to mix, about 1 ounce of caster sugar into this already whipped cream. It will sweeten it, and it will be richer and thicker, and it will go into our cake. I will show you how in just a minute. Now, also, the other thing that we need for our filling is 1 piece of 6-ounce chocolate, plain chocolate I prefer, melted in a bowl over some hot water. I've taken the trouble to do that to save ourselves time again, and now I'm going to take it over here and spread it on our first bottom layer of our meringue. Here again, you should start in the center, move it out to the very edges, because as you eat this delicious cake, you want to be able to cut through and bite through to all of the taste sensations that come up as you go through the cake. Then we take this and we put on top of it a layer of the thick, rich cream. Once again, putting it in the center and spreading it out very evenly all over the cake, because this is the secret, so that as you eat it, you get right straight through these layers. Put a little bit more on there for good measure. There we go. Now, then we take a whole handful of sliced strawberries and we put them on. Here we bring them out to the edge too. Make it cover the whole layer. Put it in. Get them out to the very edges. Be sure you do. Pat them down a little bit. Then you take another meringue and you do the same thing. You put the chocolate on the meringue, put it on there, spread it out. Here's our chocolate. Spread it out, once again, right to the edges if you can. Get it all over it. Spread it out. Then take the thick whipped double cream and spread it on. Put a big glob of it on. Right like that. More if you can. The richer the better. This is a dessert which you just don't do anything about but worry about how much of it you can eat. Isn't that beautiful? There we go. Ooh, I like doing that. Put that on top. Once again, put your big handful of strawberries all over the cake. Pat them in right to the edge, right to the very edge. Separate them a little bit. Get them out there. Now you put on your top layer of meringue. Now comes the fun. You see, in the icebox, in the fridge, I have a thing called a piping tube, a piping bag. And I'm going to get it, and I'm going to decorate the cake for you. Here is our piping bag. Now we come to the part I like. Even up your cake. I'm going to put some big, juicy, whole strawberries on top, so I think I'll just decorate it with some rosettes. So I'll make some rosettes. They're kind of roses of Picardy, I think. Anyway, put the rosettes on. Put a big one right in the middle. And then decorate it with your whole strawberries. It really makes such a beautiful dish that I can hardly wait to eat it. Put one in the middle. Here's a lovely one there, and another one there, and one more there. And there you have our American icebox cake. But I've got one little trick I'm going to do. This is just for the rest of you men who say, well, you know, so what is that? This will really sell it to you. I'm going to put some beautiful grated chocolate all over the top. Can you think of anything richer or yummier than that? Isn't that beautiful? American icebox cake. Now, if you don't like strawberries, or if they're out of season, you can use white grapes sliced in it. You can put crushed raspberries in it, or you can put it full of fresh sliced peaches. Ooh, it sounds so good. Now, the other secret is that we put it in the fridge for at least 2 hours before serving it. So here it goes into the fridge for 2 hours, don't forget. And then I will tell you my next trick. Now, this trick involves making a little nothing that can be whipped up quickly and yet can be served with a flourish. It's a cross between a custard and a souffle, and it makes a light and delectable end to any meal. For those still waiting to find out the secret of the Turks and their long life and virility, well, your time is not far off. But first, souffle pudding charmaine. As a matter of fact, I've already got a souffle in the oven cooking. When I've shown you how to make it, I'll take it out. If it works, and it better, I suggest you all go off immediately and make this dessert for yourselves. If mine doesn't work, well then, you're probably luckier with souffles than I am anyway. But mine had better work, I'll tell you that. The first stage is to heat in a saucepan, about a half a pint of milk, and again, a pinch of salt, just a little dash of salt. My milk there has been on the stove. I'm going to turn it up just a little bit to get it warmer. Then I'm going to bring it over here, and I'm going to take a bowl that has some flour in it, about 1 ounce of flour, and about a half an ounce of butter, and about a half an ounce of sugar. Again, caster sugar. This I'm going to cream together, because when it is creamed together, and you should really do this quite strenuously and quite well, it'll go into our hot milk mixture much better. There it is. Now I'm going to take the hot milk back there. I think I'll put it on this front one. It's easier to do. And I'm going to put the flour and the sugar and the butter into the hot milk and stir it until it thickens. It should thicken quite soon. Here. I think it's going warm enough. It's beginning now. It's getting thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker and thicker. Takes a little minute to get it to the absolute right consistency, but it's worth it because you want to have cooked the flour. Now you take the pan off the stove after it is thick enough and let it cool for a little while. I'll tell you why in a second. You'll see why. This really isn't going to be cool enough, but with any luck, I ought to be able to make it just about right. I'm going to put 3 egg yolks, which I have separated naturally, into the saucepan. I'm going to add the 3 egg yolks, get it all out of your little bowl, put it in, and quickly whisk it in so that it doesn't become scrambled eggs. And to that, I'm going to add a grated rind of a lemon. I'm going to keep stirring there. There's my lemon right there. Add the grated rind of a lemon. I happen to love lemon. I got that the wrong way. There. So I use a whole lemon. Some people only like to use a half a lemon, but I think there's a great flavor in this zest of lemon, as the French call it. Put the lemon into it, knock down so that you get it off of your grater. Put it in there, and once again, stir your mixture. Stir it. Now it is, as you see, a kind of custard. It's really a custard. It could be a little bit thicker than that, but we'll go on because you will get that absolutely right when you do it in your kitchen. Now, we beat the egg whites until they're firm, but I have them already beaten. Here they are, the 3 egg whites, and we put them into the custard mixture, beat them in slowly but thoroughly so that you have a kind of paste there of whites and the custard mixture. I think it's going to be just about the right texture, but you'll be able to solve that when you take that flour and butter and milk and eggs off of the stove. Now we have it. Now here I have a sugared and buttered souffle mold. What you do is you just coat it with butter, and then you take sugar. Just dump a glob of granulated sugar in there and swing it around, and you'll see it comes out this way. This gives a very delicious crust to the souffle when it comes out. Put the souffle mixture into your souffle dish. Get it all out, every drop of it. And now we put it in to bake for about 30 minutes, gas mark 6 or 400. You thought I was going to do it, didn't you? Well, I fooled you. I'm going to put it over the side because remember I have one in the box already cooking, which is what I did just about 10 minutes before we went on the air. I'm not going to take the souffle out yet, gentle viewers. It's not time, because I'm going to start mixing the sauce. On the stove here, we have some red currant jelly. About, well, let's see, 4 tablespoons of red currant jelly, one of the most beautiful colors in the world. That's one of the things I love about cooking, is the colors of things. Stir that up, and then you can add to it, if you want to, about 3 tablespoons full of sherry. Or if you don't want to, you can drink it. Cook's nip. Best to share it, though. Put it in there. Stir it up very well. Let it all mix together. And it should be just about ready in a couple of seconds. And in that time, I'm going to let you into the Turkish secret of long life and excitement. You see, for centuries, the Turks and the Georgians of southern Georgia have been renowned for their ability to live to a great age and to father children when they're past 100. What you would want with children after you're 100, I don't know. Can you imagine that 4 o'clock feeding? You could just make it out of bed. Well, the answer to the whole thing is yogurt. I can positively guarantee that if you eat yogurt every single day for 100 years, you will live to be 100 years old. I stake my reputation on that. And to make that yogurt eating more pleasant, I've got a simple little recipe from Turkey. I'm going to put this back on the stove. Just keep it warm. There, way down low. This is a Turkish ingredient called Turkish fluff, yogurt fluff. I have here 1 tin of mandarin oranges. Again, a glorious color, sweet little sections of oranges already made. And I have 1 carton of yogurt, 2 tablespoons of double cream, 1 ounce of sugar, again caster sugar, and 2 egg whites. Now we're going to mix this all together. Get all that yogurt, because don't forget, every teaspoon is a year, at least. Put it in there, mix in your sugar and your cream. There goes your cream. Get it all out, that lovely, rich, double cream. Mix it all up, and then you fold in your egg whites into the yogurt mixture. Fold them in thoroughly. Get them all out. I hate waste. And we get them all mixed up. Isn't that pretty? Look at those mandarins. The mandarins live to be pretty old too, you know. That's why we put the oranges in, just for extra good luck. Now you dish it out into one of these pretty crystal glasses. You see, you can put this into here like that. Get it full, get it nice and full, not too full. And now, because I have my whipped cream here, I'm going to just add a little fillip of cream around the top. Make it pretty. Now you decorate it with some mandarin oranges that you have left out, or you can use any other kind of fruit that you want. But since this is basically an orange and yogurt dish, that's probably the best thing to use. There it is. There it is, gentlemen. If you eat that every day, your great-grandson's girlfriends had better watch out. Now, only thing I want to say is that if it doesn't work, since I want to protect the producers of this show from lawsuits by anyone under 98, well, eat it anyway. Now, the jelly has melted, and we take it off the stove. The sherry is in there. And now we dump into it 1/4 pound of sliced peaches. Sliced peaches. And we add to that, a few drops of lemon juice. Or you can put the lemon juice over your prepared peaches so that they won't darken while they're waiting to be used. Mix that all together. Mix it all together. Pour it into a gravy boat, sauce boat, and that is your sauce for what is about now to come out of the oven. This, my friends, is the moment of terror. What will the souffle be like when it comes out of the oven? Your guess is as good as mine. I'm going to open here, give it a dramatic entrance, shall I? Oh, look at the gloves I got today. I have pajamas to match, of course. Now, get the souffle out. Hold your breath. Oh, it's a poem. It is a thing of beauty. Look at that. Look at that. Well, just remember how clever I was, and of course you can make one like that. Thank goodness. Now to serve it, you must serve all of these kind of souffle dishes immediately. Serve it into lovely single portions and pour this rich peach, currant jelly, sugar, and sherry sauce all over it. There it is. Souffle pudding charmaine. There are our 3 desserts. You know, I would warn you not to try and eat all 3 of them in one day. Maybe, one every other day, because they're pretty rich, you know. Now to recap what went into them. For the souffle pudding charmaine, half a pint of milk and a pinch of salt, brought almost to the boil, 1 ounce of flour, 1½ ounces of butter, 1½ ounces of sugar, 3 eggs separated, and the whites absolutely brought to a peak. Now for the sauce, 4 tablespoons full of red currant jelly, 1/4 pound of sliced peaches, and 3 tablespoons of sherry. For the icebox cake, 4 eggs, again separated, the whites beaten stiff, and don't throw away your yolks, 7 ounces of sugar, 6 ounces of dark chocolate, 1/2 pint of double cream, 1/2 pound of fresh strawberries, and be sure to save some whole ones to decorate the top. For the Turkish yogurt fluff, 1 tin of mandarin oranges, 1 carton of yogurt, 2 tablespoons of double cream, 1 ounce of sugar, and 2 eggs. Well, there we have 3 suggestions for your desserts. Now remember, I haven't gone through all of this for you just to sit back there and forget all about it. That, in fact, finishes this series, and whether it's been worthwhile, as I've said, gentle viewers, is now up to you. So won't you join me in the adventure of good eating and good cooking?